Hi, I'm Dr. Mackay, and today I'm going to go over how to ergonomically set up your home office to minimize stress and strain on your neck and lower back. For a lot of us, our default way to use our laptops is on our lap. And obviously the problem with that is that when we're in this position, we are staring down significantly. You can get away with doing that for 20 or 30 minutes at a time, but doing that for hours per day puts excessive stress and strain onto the neck and lower back. So as much as possible, we really want to avoid this hunched flex posture. A much better setup would be to take our laptop and put it on some type of desk or counter or table. So with this setup, it's much better. I've got my laptop on the desk here. It's obviously up much higher. Perfect world, the top of the screen here is basically at my eye level, so that would look something like this. So I'm not there, but this is still much better than in my lap. I also want to have proper forearm support, so I've got good support here. Ideally, my elbows, they are bent at roughly 90, so this is not ideal, but it's much better than in a lap. I want my wrists relatively neutral. I don't want them in hyperextension or hyperflexion because that puts excessive stress on the wrist and that can contribute to a carpal tunnel over time. Ideally, I would like to have good lumbar support with my chair. I would like my hips at or slightly above knee level, so this is not ideal. What I'd like to see is that I would like to put a cushion on my chair to actually raise me up slightly. So the next thing which I want to improve is to raise myself up slightly. So I'm going to take a cushion, I'm going to put it underneath me here. Then I also want to work on supporting my lower back, that lumbar curvature. That's really important because if we end up slouching like this, flexing forward, it puts a lot of increased stress on the lower back and on those discs, which long-term can be really bad. So I'm going to take a pillow. You can use a pillow, lumbar support, anything like that. I'm going to put it in the back portion of the chair here. So I'm going to sit on the cushion like this. So this has me up much higher, which is great. I'm going to position the lumbar pillow in that arc, in that curvature with my lower back. And you can probably see now that I'm sitting much more upright, which is awesome. My hips and my knees are roughly at the same level, which is great. I'm up higher. I've got better support with my forearms now. I've got good support with my wrists. They're nice and straight. I'm not in extension or flexion, so less stress there. So everything here looks great. The only thing is now is that because I'm up higher, which is taking the stress off my lower back, which is good, now I'm also going to be looking down more, which is going to place more stress and strain onto my neck. So the next thing which I want to focus on is trying to find a way to actually raise my screen up higher. All right, so I've got my final home office seated ergonomic setup. As you can see, I'm now using my laptop here and I'm syncing with a wireless keyboard, wireless mouse, and my monitor. I've actually got my monitor raised up slightly higher. I'm using some radiology textbooks and I've got it raised up higher so that my eye level's roughly at the top of that screen. That allows me now with the cushion here, with the lumbar support here to sit nice and upright. I've got my ears roughly over my shoulder so I'm not flexing down to look down at a screen. I am looking straight ahead, which is great for my neck. I've got really good lumbar support. My arms, they are bent roughly 90, which is fantastic. I've got good wrist support here also. So this is a great ergonomically sound home office seated setup. Next, we will focus on how to ergonomically set up a standing desk. Working at a standing desk has a lot of benefits over sitting. When we're standing, it is obviously much easier to stay relatively upright. When we're sitting, it is very easy to get in that hunch flex posture, which puts significant stress onto our neck and lower back. So as far as how long you should be standing, research out of the University of Waterloo indicates that you should be standing for half to 2/3 of that time. So theoretically, if you're working 8 hours per day, you would be standing anywhere from 4 to 6 hours per day, because again, it just takes significant stress off your lower back. In this setup here, how I have this, ideally what we want is that we want our elbows, like I was mentioning previously, to be bent roughly 90. So this workstation, I am 6'2". This workstation is low for me. So as you can see, my arms are definitely not bent at 90. I'm still looking down significantly, but if I had to choose, this is still much better than sitting all day. If I actually took this and I put it up higher on this section, which is probably about 3 inches higher, this is definitely much better for me. My arms, they are closer to a 90. I'm still looking down, but not quite as much. A still better setup for me would be to work with a separate monitor. Again, I've raised the monitor up several inches just to put it at roughly eye level. Perfect case scenario, this is about here, but this is still much better. I can work on my laptop synced up with this, and as you can see, my arms are bent roughly 90. I've got good wrist support here, and I'm standing relatively upright. There's very little flexion in my spine. The other things which can really help with a standing desk is to raise your foot up slightly, about 2 or 3 inches, just with a block or a small box. That takes some of the stress off your lower back. Try to alternate that about every 20 to 30 minutes. So right side, left side, right side, left side. The other thing is that even though we are standing, there is still some flexion in our spine. And this is true of standing, but especially true when we're sitting. Even if we have the perfect ergonomic setup, there is still some flex posture. So working on that to counteract that stress can be really helpful. So there's a couple ways to do that. One is called the Brugger exercise. This is basically going, instead of in flexion, we're going to do the opposite. So we're pulling our chin back into retraction. We're opening up through here. We're pulling our shoulders back, pulling our mid back back. Oh, that feels good. We hold that about 5 seconds or so. Then we let that go. We sort of shake it out a bit, and then we just pull it back again like this. And again, we're going to hold that about 5 seconds. We do that 3 or 4 times. The other option is just a reach to the sky stretch, which for all of us feels fantastic. So again, you're going to either interlace your hands and you're going to go up like this, pushing up, or you can just separate them and push up, and that feels so good in through that mid-back area, neck area, shoulder area. Again, you just want to hold that about 5 seconds or so. Then you're just going to sort of let that go, swing that out a bit. Then you're just going to do that again. Again, we want to do that 3 or 4 times. Ideally, we're doing this about every 30 minutes. So perfect world, you would set a timer on your phone or computer. What all the research shows is that movement's really beneficial, not just for your body, but your brain. Your brain actually operates better when your body is moving, especially spinal motion. So scheduling regular intervals just for interruptions will help you to actually be more productive over time. So that can be doing some of these exercises. That can be going for a walk. Ideally, you're doing that every 30 minutes. If you have any questions about any of this, please feel free to ask. If you know somebody you think would benefit from this video, please feel free to share this with them. Have a great day.